Hey, Jason Palliser here, and in this video, we're going to talk about having conversations with sellers. So how do you have a conversation with sellers through, like, let's say over the phone, cold calling, right? And I always tell everybody this, I'm like, you need to get good at talking to people. And for some people it comes naturally, for some people it doesn't, but deals don't close unless you talk to people. Some people, well, I've done a whole deal via text. That's fine. You're still talking to people. You still probably have one conversation with them, 2 conversations, 5 conversations. They talk to the title company. You're coordinating all these things. It all starts with talking to people, being on the phone. And but specifically, we're going to talk about talking to sellers over the phone and some things to think about when cold calling, stuff like that. Okay. Now, as we get started here, don't forget to subscribe or hit the bell so that when we drop other good content, and we've been getting great feedback, so I love it. Keep it coming. That you guys get the new stuff and gals get the new stuff that we're dropping to make sure that you're the best investor that you can be, right? And as always, if you have questions, just put them in the comments. And if you need anything, just ask, and we're here to help you. Fair enough? Okay, so let's get to talking to sellers. Okay, so talking to sellers on the phone, some things to think about when you're cold calling. The first thing that you want to understand, know, and do is that every other investor in town is going to be trying to do the same thing that you are, right? So, and that's why people sometimes feel like, well, investing's hard. I have so much competition. It drives me crazy when people say, well, my market's saturated. And again, I think for most of you that know me, I've done stuff for hedge funds for a long time to get 1,000 homes in a short amount of time, 2,000 homes, blah, blah, blah. And, but they don't complain. They don't complain about how saturated the market is and how many people are in their marketplace that they're competing against, right? So you just have to be better than them. So when we're on the phone or we're making calls, let's lay the foundation. Let's put some framework in place that'll put you in a position to get done what you want to get done, which is connecting with the seller the right way. And there's some factors involved that could inhibit you to do that. And let's start removing a few of those and making you more comfortable with that. And or the team that you're going to train, you can share this video with them to make them a little bit sharper. One of the first things that I would tell you is this, okay? When you're talking to a seller, you don't know what you're going to get. So go in with a smile on your face. If you view this as, you know, a long 10-mile trek uphill in gravel with no shoes on, then it's going to bleed through the phone. So when you're getting ready to make calls, be upbeat, be ready to go. You're going to be talking to people that don't know who you are. So you're going to have to establish pretty fast who you are and why you're there, right? So you need to get to brass tacks. So having said that, be upbeat, be ready to go. That's a tip for you. Another one is that if you're just getting into the rhythm of doing this or just getting started, a kiss of death is a pause. You cannot pause in the conversation. So if they say, oh, who are you? Oh, you're just going to make an offer. Oh, you're just one of those flipper. Who the hell are you? And you pause, you're done. They're going to be like, hey, I don't have time for this. Click and hang up on you. So when they're talking, oh, let me guess, you're just one of those flippers. Well, actually, no. We do flip houses from time to time, but then also too, we renovate houses. Sometimes we renovate houses and put people in that need to get back on their feet. So it really just depends on what the situation is, but none of that ever happens unless we become a solution for a homeowner. So in my example that I'm giving you here, you heard me say, well, you're just one of those flippers. And then you heard me immediately go into, well, no, not actually. What we do is blah, blah, blah. I didn't miss a beat. If you pause, the game's over, right? So that's one tip for you when you're doing cold calling and talking to sellers. Another thing that I want you to be conscious of is that there's definitely right ways and wrong ways to have conversations on the phone and try and what you're trying to do is get an appointment, find out if a seller's interested remotely at all at selling, right? And get an appointment, and then go on that appointment, be a solution, and deposit 20, 30, 40, 50 grand and repeat that process and do it again, right? So you have to get good at this. So one thing that I need to tell you about talking with sellers is this: you have to establish right out of the gate a polite foundation, okay? And what I mean by that is this: be apologetic. Hey, I don't know if I have the right person or not, but I think that you might be the owner of 123 Candy Lane, okay? So you say, hey, I don't know if you're the right person to talk to or not, but I think I have the right person. You're the owner of 123 Candy Lane. And they're going to either say yes or no. Now, let's go down two different paths here. This is where we help you get better and close deals that didn't even exist because you asked the right questions. You're at a fork in the road. So let's go this direction over here where they say, no, I'm not the owner. Most people, oh, hey, I'm sorry. You know, you're getting started and you're nervous being on the phone, whatever it is, or even if you're a pro and you don't have feelings, whatever. I like that, by the way. And I'm not supposed to say or do things when I'm doing videos and they're off camera right now going, please, Jason, just make this an easy video for me. But whether you care or don't care, when they say that that they're not the property owner, you have a choice. Most investors just get off the phone, mark it off their list, and then keep going and plugging away. What I want you to get in the practice of doing, repeat it 4 or 5 times, get in a rhythm of doing it, do it with somebody else that's a friend of yours so that it just rolls off your tongue and is part of what you do. I need you to do this. When they say, hey, I'm not the owner. Okay, well, do you possibly know who the owner is? I've been literally trying for 2 or 3 hours to find the right person. And they'll say whether they do or they don't. Oh yeah, it's not mine, but XYZ. I would love to speak with them. I've been trying for days to locate them. I truly want to be a solution for them. Is there any way that you could connect us? Right? So that's 1. 2, they say no, and no, I don't know who owns it. Okay, well then, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. But by the way, do you by chance, either you or yourself, know anybody? Okay? If you hear some beeps in the background, that's my lead generation button going off. So again, suffocating a city 30 different ways is fun. So I like that when it goes off. It made my hair on my arm stand up. So you also ask them, hey, do you by chance have a house to sell or know anybody that has some properties to sell? If you get in the habit of doing that, then what's going to happen is like, well, I do have a property, and boom, you could turn what you were calling on 1, 2, 3 Candy Lane, now all of a sudden is 4, 5, 6 Candy Lane or what have you, right? And then secondly, sometimes they have other properties to sell or know somebody that wants to sell properties. If you, in the moment when they say, well, no, that's not my house, you just get off the phone, that's a huge mistake. As an example, when we do a 2-day blueprint, 30 different ways to get off market leads, suffocate your city, not just doing the same 5 worn out techniques, free direct mail, first page of Google for free, all that stuff to win on the front end. When we're on the phones as well. So what we do in a 2-day blueprint as well, just so you know. And again, if you want information, just go to the number 2dayblueprint.com, see what your peers say, see what we do. And there's also a spot for you to talk to us and talk to you about your business. But one big thing that we do is we make calls live in front of our clients. We get you good at this. And it doesn't matter if you want to do it or not, or you just have some big aversion to being on the phone. But what you need to know is that somebody's going to do it, right? And you can delegate that out to somebody else, again, which we put those things in place when we build out a blueprint for you to run like the wind past your competition. But having said that, you need to get good at finding out whether they have other properties to sell. And when we do blueprints, we make calls live in front of you. We like a machine, boom, 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 boom. So that you can get the rhythm of what we do, and then we explain it. We go in great detail how we do it, how we get in the right space to do it. But you watch us do it live. And here's what we've had over the last couple months. On 2 separate occasions on our blueprint build-outs with our clients, whether it was live stream or they were there in person, they heard us live. And when we went on a break after that, they're like, oh my God. They heard us live, practice what I just told you. And here's what happened. We've had on 2 separate occasions in the last two months on our build outs, where when we were at the section of our blueprint where we were making calls live, where the people weren't the owner of the property. Okay. So they weren't the owner of the property, but they said, hey, I do have some other properties to sell. Hey, no, I know somebody that does. And we have several opportunities. We have one guy that owns 400 houses that we would have never known if we would have just said, oh, okay, you don't own that property. See you later. Bye. And so what happened was this, he's got 400 houses and he goes, hey, look, quite frankly, I'm getting up there in age and I have plenty of houses. I'm set for life. He goes, but I have 40 or 50 houses that I bought at auction that I just simply can't get to. And so if we didn't, at that fork in the road where they say, I don't own the house, if we didn't go that direction, like, well, do you potentially have a house to sell? Do you have any other properties or know anybody that does? Because I'm really looking to buy some properties in this area. If you don't get good at doing that, and by the way, what I just said took 4 seconds, 5 seconds. If you don't get good at doing that or implement on your team that it's a standard operating procedure, an SOP, standard operating procedure, then you're going to miss deals. You're already in the brains. Think about this. You're already in the brain space. You've already put time and effort into getting ready to make the calls and grabbing a list and starting to call and trying to find some opportunities. For you to miss that opportunity is a very, very, very bad move for your business. That's being what I always tell people. That's being an irresponsible CEO of your business, which we're trying to turn you into a long-standing professional in your community that everybody knows in town. You mean business, right? And so you can't miss that opportunity. So that better be cemented in your brain, my future 2-Day Blueprint teammates. Okay. Now the other direction, if they do, well, yeah, I did. Yeah, that is my property. Remember when they say, yeah, that is my property. Some of you, and it's human nature. Sometimes you pause. You're like, oh, because you get excited. Remember, if you pause, game's over. Now all of a sudden they're like, okay, what's going on here? Who are you? This and that. And then they hang up on you, right? You want to avoid that. So when they say, yeah, that's my property. Oh, great. Good. Gosh, I've been calling for a long time to find you. Well, look, hey, by chance, would you be open to receiving an offer on that property? Hey, by chance, would you be interested in selling, whether you want to sell now or 10 years from now? I would love, at your convenience, 10 minutes to see it and give you a standing offer on the property. Thank you so much for taking my call. Do you see how polite that is? Do you see how I didn't stop? I didn't pause, right? These are things that you need to get good at. These are things that your team that makes calls for you needs to be very good at. If not, then somebody else is going to take that opportunity and run with it, right? Now, at the risk of getting in trouble with everybody that's off screen, we also teach you live inside the blueprint how to take almost any animosity away from the situation. And because once you get through that, you get deals. And but most people freak out, right? So you're going to get a lot of people that say, oh, what do you call me? You're the 15th person to call me about my house. That's not for sale. F you, right? Well, we turn FUs, you know what it stands for, into appointments. I'm going to get in trouble. Sorry. And so we turn FUs into appointment. They're like, hey, oh, you're just calling me. How'd you get my number? F you. Look, sir, if you don't mind, I apologize. I know I caught you out of the blue. And as you are listening to me right now, I'm putting on my calendar at 4:30 today. I will F off. I promise you at 4:30, I'm going to F off today. But look, it is my job. We are very interested in your property to at least talk to you about saying, can I get 10 minutes to see it, whether you want to sell it now or 10 years from now? Now, two things about that. One, I flipped that and turned it into a joke like, hey, I will F off today at 4:30 sharp. Okay. But I still need to see your property. And so the one thing is, I taught you a technique on how we flip it, and we do it live. We've done it several times live into appointments, and everybody's like, oh my goodness, you guys are monsters. Well, no, that's just technique and that's just repetition. You can do it. I'm nothing special. I promise you that. Talk to my mom. But having said that, listen to me. I got past it because that's just an objection, right? And then I said, but hey, look, it's my job. I'm behind on setting appointments with people that might want to sell, whether it's now or 10 years from now. We would love to give you a standing offer. I'm just so thankful that you answered the phone. And I know I caught you off guard. As I said that, and I'm watching here on camera, that all this explanation took me 10, 15 seconds, right? But it's not, but the second thing I need to teach you is that I didn't stop. If I pause, the game's over. F you. Well, click. Hey, look, I know I caught you off guard. Look, I am, as we speak right now, I'm putting on my calendar at 4:30. I promise you, I will F off at 4:30. I will be effing off at 4:30. But look, I need to see your house. So folks, when you're making calls live, and people always ask too, and I'll end with this. When's the best time to call? The moment, every moment of every day. When's the best time to call? Midweek, in the evenings, good time to call. Anytime's a good time to call. Because when you're on the phone, you're doing things most of the time that your competition isn't doing. So you get good at this or delegate this out, rewatch this, send it to your team. But like our channel, subscribe to it, and we can't wait. We can't wait to make an impact on your business. And if you want more information, go to the number 2dayblueprint.com, see what other people say, and schedule a call because it's free. And that's what I call being a responsible business owner. Let's talk to you about your marketplace and what you're trying to get accomplished. So hopefully this helps you out. See you on the next video. Bye.